Find other great podcasts like this one at Podmoth.network.
If tales of ghostly hauntings, Bigfoot encounters, extraterrestrial interactions, and cosmic awakenings are your cup of tea, then join me, Eric Szilagyi, host of Uncomfortable Podcast, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Make Uncomfortable your home for the topics that reside on the fringe of our reality. Eyewitnesses, researchers, and experiencers join me on a weekly basis to delve into their paranormal and otherworldly experiences. Heard in over 65 countries worldwide, follow Uncomfortable Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your casts. Uncomfortable is now presented in video form on YouTube as well. So, as always, my friends, stay uncomfortable.
Hey there, fellow true crime aficionados. We're the host of Bad Acts, a true crime podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Aaron.
Join us every Thursday for twisted true crime tales of dark deeds and despicable people. We focus on lesser known, unique stories with a new case each week. We've covered family annihilators, cannibals, revenge killings, killer kids, mysterious murders, survivor stories, and much more. We've even tackled stories of people who blamed zombies, vampires, ghosts, and voodoo for their bad acts.
Of course, we know they're the only ones to blame. You can find us everywhere you get your podcast, or you can visit our website at badactspod.com.
If you like fresh stories and new perspectives on crime, Bad Acts will be your new jam. Join Bad Acts every Thursday. Stay safe, y'all.
See you soon.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us once again for another episode of Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy. How are you today, Mom?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Can't complain.
Awesome.
What story do you have for us today?
I have a story about Dan Markel, who has the worst mother-in-law in history.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. What story do you have for us today?
Today I'm going to be talking about the Tulsa Massacre, also known as Black Wall Street. And to go with this, I have the Wall Street Sour. To make this cocktail, you need 1 ounce of bourbon, 1/2 ounce of cognac, 3/4 ounce lemon juice, 1/2 ounce demerara syrup, 1 egg white, and 3/4 ounce of ruby port, which is wine. I didn't buy ruby port. I just bought random red wine. So not particularly on brand, but I'm sure
It'll work.
It'll be fine. So to make this, combine all ingredients except for the port into a cocktail shaker. Dry shake without ice for about 10 seconds. Then add ice and shake again until chilled, about 15 seconds. Double strain contents into a chilled cocktail glass. Then slowly pour the port over the back of a bar spoon into the glass, kind of like a float.
Okay.
This is
I'm not at
gonna
all
be gross.
excited for this.
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. I just know it.
So
'Cause it's
let's
essentially-
give this a try.
It's a New York sour, which we've done before, and I hated that. So I'm going to hate this. I'm
Yeah,
sure of it.
you're just gonna get a big swig of wine. I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
let's give it a
he's-
try.
Ugh, it's going to be bad. Yep. Yep, just
Yeah.
as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not a
It's
fan.
gross.
Nope.
Ugh.
Dump it out.
Yep. Okay, let's get into the Tulsa Massacre. In 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma had a racially tense atmosphere. Tulsa was originally a settlement for relocated Native Americans, some of which owned slaves and brought their slaves with them. In 1907, Oklahoma was made a state, and when this happened, they instated Jim Crow laws, which involved racial segregation for black Oklahomans. Part of this segregation meant that African Americans were only allowed to live in one area of Tulsa. The town hit a slump when service members returned from World War I, and many people struggled to find a job. Meanwhile, the KKK was a growing movement within the community, and in Oklahoma, by the end of 1921, about 3,200 of Tulsa's 72,000 residents were Klan members. In the early 20th century, lynchings were common in Oklahoma as part of a continuing effort to assert and maintain white supremacy. By 1921, at least 31 people, mostly men and boys, had been lynched in the newly formed state, 26 of which were black.
Oh.
At the same time, black veterans pushed to have their civil rights enforced, believing that they had earned full citizenship as the result of their military service in what became known as, you fight for our country.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. So during this movement, there was a ton of race riots in the Midwest and Northeast, most of which were attacking black communities, fighting for their rights to be American, which is just ridiculous to say.
That's crazy.
A large number of affluent, educated, and professional African American residents lived in Greenwood. Greenwood was the district in Tulsa that they were forced to live in, basically.
Okay.
5 years earlier, Greenwood became so prosperous that it became known as Black Wall Street.
Oh, okay. Black Wall Street.
So they took their community and a bunch of people made movie theaters and their own grocery stores and stuff. So it became a pretty good place to live. Most black people lived together in the district. Black Americans had created their own businesses and services, including grocery stores, newspapers, movie theaters, nightclubs, churches, anything a community would need. It was all black owned, so they were very prosperous there. So that is kind of the history of how Black Wall Street kind of came together and
gotcha. Came about.
But it also sets the racial tension in Tulsa at the time. So
yeah.
Let's get into the incident.
Okay.
So, Dick Rowland was a black shoe shiner who had a deal with the owner of a nearby building that allowed him and the other African Americans to use designated black-only bathrooms in his building.
Okay.
So to get to the bathroom, they would have to use the elevator to get to the bathroom. The elevator had an elevator operator, which I didn't know was a real job. It's just buttons. I can't imagine it. Well, I guess for those old ones, with the weird wire doors that you can see through. Okay.
Have you not been in the one downtown that's got an elevator operator?
I only went in there once or twice.
Did you not go in the elevator with the operator? It's kind of
I think
awkward.
I did the first time, and then I was like, I'll just take the stairs next time.
Or the other, because there's two elevators and one doesn't have an operator.
That's so weird.
It's weird. It's weird.
So the elevator operator this day was Sarah Page. Dick likely knew Sarah because he had ridden this elevator hundreds of times just to go to the bathroom. And as Dick entered the elevator, he tripped and grabbed onto Sarah to stop himself from falling.
Okay.
This resulted in Sarah letting out a small scream. Just a shock, like someone grabs you. Just
right.
You're like, oh. So
I have a feeling this is going to be really, really bad.
Yeah. So a worker in a store in the building ran up to the elevator because of the scream and saw Dick running from the elevator. The worker called police, believing she had been assaulted by Dick. Police conducted a quick interview where they had Sarah. In the interview, Sarah explained that Dick had only grabbed her arm, nothing more, and she did not want to press charges against him.
Okay.
Dick was scared because most black men accused of assaulting white women were lynched, so he fled to his mother's house in Greenwood.
Okay.
Roland was located by police and arrested. However, an anonymous person called into the police station and threatened his life, so they moved Dick to a more secure cell in the courthouse. Most of the lawyers in town knew Dick because of his shoe shining business and personally vouched for him, saying he wouldn't assault this lady. A white-owned newspaper picked up the story and did what news always does and sensationalized the story, claiming that Dick had assaulted Sarah.
Yeah. God.
Which
damn.
is, God, the fact that I have never heard this story until recently is mind-boggling to me. This is like, because it's gonna get crazy from here.
Yeah. Shitty.
They should make a movie.
Shitty stuff.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't a movie about this.
There might be.
So by nightfall, a group of several hundred people gathered outside the courthouse ready to lynch Dick.
Oh.
The sheriff positioned 6 of his deputies armed to the teeth to protect the courthouse. He disabled the elevator and ordered his men to shoot anyone who came up the stairs.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The sheriff went down to talk to the crowd, but that didn't work. Meanwhile, a group of African Americans gathered in Greenwood to prepare for a lynch. About 9:30 p.m., a group of approximately 50 to 60 black men armed with rifles and shotguns arrived at the jail to support the sheriff and his deputies in defending Roland from the mob.
Nice.
Having seen the armed black men, some of more than about 1,000 white people who had been at the courthouse went home for their own guns. Others headed for the National Guard Armory at the corner of 6th Street.
Oh my God.
The armory contained a supply of small arms and ammunition, and Mayor James Bell, after learning of the situation that's about to come break down his door, he took measures to prevent it. He called the commanders of 3 National Guard units in Tulsa, who ordered all Guard members to put on their uniforms and report quickly to the armory. When a group of white rioters arrived and began pulling at the gates, pulling at the grating over the window, Bell went outside to confront the crowd of 300 to 400 men.
Jeez.
Bell told them that the Guard members inside were armed and prepared to shoot anyone who tried to enter. And after this show of force, the crowd withdrew from the armory. So they were about to go raid an army complex and steal the guns.
Crazy.
Meanwhile, a small group of black men armed themselves and started patrolling the area near the courthouse. Shortly after 10 p.m., a second larger group of approximately 75 armed black men decided to go to the courthouse. They offered their support to the sheriff, who declined their help. And there are conflicting reports about the exact time and nature of the incident, but according to the 2001 commission, as the black men were leaving, a white man attempted to disarm a black man, and a struggle ensued and a shot rang out. And then, according to the sheriff, all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
At the end of the exchange of gunfire, 12 people were dead, 10 white and 2 black.
Oh.
The mob of white people began shooting and killing any black people they saw on the street and marching their way towards Greenwood, while many stopped to loot stores for extra guns and ammo.
Jesus.
Around 11 p.m., members of the National Guard unit began to assemble at the armory and organize a plan to subdue the rioters. Several groups were deployed downtown to set up guard at the courthouse, police station, and other public facilities. Members of the local chapter of the American Legion joined in on patrols on the street as well. Throughout the early morning hours, groups of armed white and black men squared off in gunfights. The fighting was concentrated along the sections of the Frisco tracks, a dividing line between the black and white commercial districts. A rumor had begun circulating that more black people were coming on a train from Muskogee to help with the invasion of Tulsa. And at one point, passengers in an incoming train were forced to take cover on the floor of the train cars as they had arrived amid crossfire. So people were just shooting at the train willy-nilly because of this rumor.
Holy cow.
Yeah. This is like
crazy.
So
It's
meanwhile,
crazy.
white rioters threw ignited oil rags into several buildings along Archer Street, igniting them. At around 1 a.m., the white mob began setting fires mainly in businesses and houses. As news traveled among Greenwood residents in the early morning hours, many began to take up arms in defense of their neighborhood, while others began fleeing from the city. I think I would fucking get out of there.
Yeah.
It sounds like World War III.
Yeah.
Or Civil
I'm
War
getting
Part
out.
2, I guess.
Yep. Wow.
As Tulsa Fire Department arrived to put out the fires, they were turned back by gunshots and threats.
Holy. Oh my God.
Yeah. As the sun rose, the attacks only grew worse. Overwhelmed by the sheer number of attackers, black residents retreated north on Greenwood Avenue to the edge of town. Chaos ensued as terrified residents fled. The rioters shot indiscriminately and killed many along the way. Splitting into small groups, they began breaking into houses, buildings, and just looting and causing chaos.
Yeah. Because,
Numerous-
when shit goes down, that's when you start stealing shit. It
I mean, I guess.
happens
I
everywhere
think
all
about
the
it.
time. I didn't realize it went back that far,
would-
but doesn't
I would
surprise
loot.
me.
I think if everyone else is doing it, I'm not going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So numerous eyewitnesses described airplanes carrying white people who shot rifles and dropped fire bombs on buildings, homes, and fleeing families.
Jesus.
It's like some Vietnam shit going on.
Wow.
General Charles Barrett of the Oklahoma National Guard arrived by special train at around 9:15 a.m. with 109 troops from Oklahoma City, ordered by the governor. He could not legally act until he had contacted all the appropriate local authorities, including the mayor, the sheriff, the police chief. Barrett summoned reinforcements from several other Oklahoma cities. Barrett then declared martial law at around noon.
Wow.
Another 4,000 people had been rounded up, 4,000 people had been rounded up and detained in various centers under martial law. The detainees were required to carry identification cards. As many as 6,000 Greenwood residents were interned at these local facilities. The Red Cross estimated about 300 dead and 500 hospitalized.
Wow.
The commercial section of Greenwood was destroyed. Losses included 191 businesses, a junior high school, several churches, and the only hospital in the district. The Red Cross reported that around 1,200 houses were burned. Another 250 were looted but not burned. The Tulsa Real Estate Exchange estimated that property losses were about $1.5,750,000 in personal property, which equates to about $40 million today.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the fact that this isn't taught in like history class is weird to me. That's a crazy story.
It's really tragically sad that shit like that happens over nothing.
Literally over nothing. He
Yeah.
grabbed a girl's arm and she didn't want to press charges. So this is actually all the newspaper's fault that said that he assaulted her. That is insane.
Oh, so sad. So sad.
Yeah, super weird.
I don't like it.
No, neither.
Are you ready
Let's
for
hear about your story. Yeah.
my worst the most awful mother-in-law? And I
Yes.
thought mine was bad, but this one's worse. All right, we're going to talk about Daniel Markel. He was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada on October 9th, 1972. His parents were Phil and Ruth, and he had an older sister, Shelley. Dan grew up in a Jewish family in Toronto. He was super smart with an interest in politics and philosophy. He earned his undergraduate and then later his law degree at Harvard University. Thus, he's a smart guy because Harvard doesn't have dumb people in it. He also completed a master's degree at Cambridge. In 2004, while living in Washington, D.C., he met a woman named Wendy Adelson through the Jewish dating app JDate. The couple began dating and decided to move to Florida, Wendy's home state. Wendy herself was not a stranger to accomplishment. She graduated college with high degrees and went on to earn a master's degree from Cambridge as a Gates Scholar, which I think also means she's smart, but I don't know. Gates
So
Scholar.
this is the only time I've ever heard anyone meeting on JDate other than their commercials.
I haven't seen a JDate commercial.
Since like you haven't?
No,
They were
I
all
don't
over
think so.
TV in like 2010s.
Oh, well, Bumble is the thing that I keep seeing ads for everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, I
There's
should try
too
JDate
many.
and find a sugar mama.
You should not try JDate because you are not Jewish.
I know, but I can find a sugar mama on there.
Maybe. I'm not saying you shouldn't find a sugar mama. That'd be fine with me. She could take us all on vacation.
Yeah.
There we go. Wendy completed her law degree at the University of Miami, so she became an attorney as well. While living in D.C., Dan had served as a clerk for a federal judge and practiced, wow, that was hard to say today, as an attorney. His professional career led him to joining the faculty of Florida State University College of Law in 2005. There he became a beloved professor and published author on criminal justice and sentencing theory. Wendy was also on the faculty at the law school. The couple got married in 2006 and eventually had 2 sons. Although their careers seemed to be in a good place, their marriage was not, and the couple got divorced in 2013. This led to a very contentious custody dispute over their sons, which is kind of the big problem that caused all the issues. In court filings and hearings, each parent pushed for control and influence over the children's residence and upbringing. Wendy's mom, Donna, played a large factor in this fight. With Donna's encouragement, Wendy sought to relocate with the boys to South Florida to be closer to her family, but Dan resisted. And a judge ultimately barred the move altogether, which I'm sure did not make Wendy or her mommy very happy. The summer of 2014 saw the bitter dispute reach a tragic climax. On the morning of July 18th, Dan was at his Tallahassee home carrying out his routine when 2 men emerged from a silver Toyota Prius and shot him in the face and head. He passed away the next morning from his injuries.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep. Essentially all because he didn't want to move to South Florida and his mother-in-law insisted that she have her grandchildren with her. Yeah. According to the autopsy report, the wounds were inflicted from an intermediate range, closer than the distance of a typical street ambush, which suggested intent and precision. What might have appeared like an isolated act of violence soon took on dimensions of an intentional murder. A $25,000 Crime Stoppers reward. Yeah. Initially, they were like, oh, he maybe they wanted to rob him or something, and then they started really looking into it, and they were like, "Oh,
What if he
something
had
else is going
his
on."
wallet and he's in his car? They didn't take his car. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
A $25,000 Crime Stopper reward was initially offered. A separate independently funded $100,000 reward was offered in July of 2015. At first, police had no leads, but almost 2 years later, the shooters were identified as Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. There are so
Sigfredo?
many people. Sigfredo.
That's
I
a
probably
new name.
mispronounced it.
I've never heard
That's-
that
yeah.
name before.
There's a lot of people involved in this murder. A lot.
Okay.
Investigators pieced together surveillance footage, toll records, cell phone data, and eyewitness accounts that traced the movements of the Prius as it followed Dan throughout his morning. So they're just following him around. He dropped off his kids at school. He went to the gym. He drove around. They followed him everywhere until they ambushed him. And then
Well,
killed him.
yeah. But you got to get find the best time to do it. You can't just pull up when he's
Right.
at the grocery store or something. More witnesses.
True. But why follow him around? Why not just sit at his house and wait for him to come home?
Well, if they're hitmen, they probably know we need no witnesses, and so if they get a pattern of life, they can figure out when he's most likely going to be alone.
No, I think it was just that day that they followed him around. So it's not like they were tailing him for a while to figure out his patterns. I think it's just that day they
Maybe they
got
get paid
caught
by the
following
hour.
him around. Maybe they were like, we got to start this murder plot early in the day. Oh my gosh. Garcia, the two shooters were arrested in 2016. Prosecutors and law enforcement revealed the chilling theory that linked the crime to a very personal feud between Dan and his ex-wife's family. Law enforcement sources stated that the murder was part of a murder for hire scheme, allegedly driven by the quote-unquote desperate desire for Wendy's family to secure a relocation of the children to South Florida, which is what Dan had refused to do. He was like, no, I have a job here. My life is here. I'm not fucking moving because you want to run home to mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
The investigation's unraveling of the plot was slow and methodical. In 2016, Garcia and Rivera were indicted on first-degree murder charges. Rivera later pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 19 years in prison. Garcia stood trial in 2019, was convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy, and received life in prison plus additional years for conspiracy. But Garcia and Rivera were not the only figures implicated. Like I said, there's a lot of people involved in this. The web of alleged conspirators extended back to the Adelson family, and prosecutors pointed toward two people they believed orchestrated the crime. First was Charlie Adelson, Wendy's brother. Prosecutors alleged that Charlie arranged the payment for the killing and that he used his then girlfriend, Catherine, as an intermediary to recruit the hitmen. The amount for the hit was believed to be around $100,000. So a good price for a hit. You know, I mean, we've covered hits that were a lot less expensive. At Charlie's trial, the state's case included evidence of audio recordings, financial transactions, and communications tying him to the plot. In November of 2023, Charlie was convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 60 years for the conspiracy and solicitation charges. Back to Charlie's girlfriend. She was Garcia's former partner and the mother of his children. So to make it a diagram, because it's confusing, the brother is dating this woman and he's like, I need my ex-brother-in-law killed. And so she got her baby daddy, ex-boyfriend, and one of his friends to commit the crime.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of confusing
Yeah.
loopholes of people. Initially, her trial in 2019 ended in a hung jury, but in a retrial in 2022, she was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation of murder. She received life in prison plus additional consecutive sentences for the conspiracy and solicitation charges. But we're not done. It didn't end there. Just days after Charlie's conviction, prosecutors arrested the mommy, Donna Adelson, Wendy and Charlie's mama. Donna was arrested at Miami International Airport as she and her husband were attempting to flee the country on a one-way ticket to Vietnam because, Vietnam doesn't have a U.S. extradition treaty. And it
That's what I'd do
looks
if I was
pretty
fleeing.
shady. Yeah. You go somewhere that they can't extradite you.
And
But
Vietnam
I
looks
think
very pretty. I've seen a lot of pictures that make it look
I
nice.
think it looks sticky.
Well, yeah.
Hot
but
and sticky.
it's like tropical
Yeah.
place and
It's tropical because it's hot and sticky.
yeah.
So Mama Donna was charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation in connection with Dan's killing. In September 2025, a jury found the 75-year-old mother and grandmother guilty, making her the fifth person to be convicted in the murder for hire plot.
Jesus.
Her sentence, 5 fucking people. Her sentence was the same as her son's, life in prison for the murder and 30 years each for the conspiracy and solicitation charges. She has, of course, filed an appeal on the conviction and the sentence. But she was just convicted and sentenced.
30 years is
less
life
than
in prison for her. I mean,
for her, 100%. Yeah. Although Donna marked the fifth person to be convicted of the crime, many people may be wondering about a potential sixth person. Who would that be? Wendy, the ex-wife and mother of Dan's children. She has never been charged, but prosecutors did name her as an unindicted co-conspirator. She testified against her mother in Donna's trial and denied any involvement in orchestrating the killing. While Wendy admitted to expressing harsh feelings toward Dan during their divorce, she maintained that she was not part of the murder plot itself. Which,
I could see mommy being the hit person, but
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. That I don't know.
It's weird.
Either
story.
way, she has not been
That also should be a movie.
charged. Yes. There's probably a doc on it somewhere out there.
That's not the same. Movies are better than documentaries.
I agree.
I don't care if
I
they
agree.
make things up.
Right.
Speaking of which, that is
True.
my chaser.
Oh, what?
I'm listening to Pet Sematary, the audiobook.
Oh,
And
yes.
I wanted to watch the movie. And so I watched the 1989, I think, version, because there's multiple versions out now.
Okay.
But I wanted to watch the original.
The
and
original.
It was very disappointing compared to the book. I mean,
Okay.
they completely cut out, like, fast forward through like 30% of the book in like 10 seconds. And it's like, there's important, and to like make up for it, they just changed the story. And it's like, that's not what happened.
Not how it went.
Yeah. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I don't know. It's a good, I think I'd enjoy the movie if I didn't watch the book first, or watch the book, listen to the book.
Listen.
But I don't know. The book is much better. It fills in a lot of gaps that are left in the movie.
I remember reading the book before the movie came out, and I don't think it's been a long time ago. I remember I've read it and watched the movie, and I don't remember being super angry at the movie, but yeah, I do. Like you said, the stuff gets left out.
Yeah. And I don't like when they change the story because it's like they didn't need to change it where it was changed. It didn't do anything. So
yeah, that's dumb.
I don't know why they did that, but
I don't like that.
Apparently that is Stephen King's, like, he almost didn't want to release that book because it creeped him out so much. So
it's creepy.
It is. It's really creepy.
Yeah.
What's your chaser, Mom?
My chaser is a recipe that I saw on Instagram, I think it was, for toasted Rice Krispie treats. And in and of themselves, I love Rice Krispie treats. They are one of my absolute favorite guilty pleasures. I will make a tray of them and eat the whole thing by myself if given the opportunity, and then make myself sick eating them. But this recipe for the toasted ones, oh my God. So everything, you take your Rice Krispie treats and you lay them out on a sheet pan and toast them in the oven. And then you take your marshmallows and you put them under the broiler and toast the marshmallows in the oven. And to make it even better, you don't just melt the butter, but you brown the butter. So you get that extra savory flavor from the browned butter. And then you take your toasted marshmallows and you put it in the pan and melt them the rest of the way. And also it's got salt, a little bit of salt, like a quarter teaspoon of salt, and vanilla in with your marshmallow mixture. And then you get all of those toasted, roasted, yummy marshmallows melted down, and then mix it in with the Rice Krispies. It's so good. I'm upset that I haven't done this before.
And I got as you were describing this, I got a weird high munchy thing.
Oh.
I think if you made s'mores with that, like use that as the graham crackers and put like a piece of chocolate and marshmallow.
Yeah.
Or put chocolate in the mix too. Like some melted chocolate, mix it in. That could be really good.
It would be really good.
Next time you make them, put like
so good.
Drizzle some chocolate on top and let me know how it is.
Yeah. Right. Well, next time you come home, I'll make some so that you can try them. They're phenomenal.
They sound good.
Yeah, they're yummy. I think that does it for us today.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Enjoyed hearing your Hitman story.
Yeah. The fact that so many people were involved is wild to
super
me.
Weird. Like it doesn't, I guess it does take that many people to set up a hit. I would have to talk to 5 people to get it.
Yeah, but you also, I mean, the more people you talk to, the more people can rat your ass out.
Yeah,
so
but
maybe
you'd have to find someone to fund it because hits aren't cheap. You'd have to find someone to do the hit. And I'm guessing it's not going to be the first 2 people you talk to.
Probably not. Probably not. No, but still crazy.
Yeah. All right. Love you, Mom.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, friends. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share our show with your brutal and bizarre friends. Give us a Boozy follow on your favorite podcast platform. If you're feeling extra generous, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating or review as well. But maybe do that sober so all the letters are in the right place.
You can find all our contact information in the show notes. We love hearing from you, and if you're interested in helping us stock the bar for our future Boozy episodes, you can find our Patreon link in the show notes as well.